Afternoon, people. How are you all doing? Happy Friday. It's Friday. At last. It's Friday. I love Friday. The light on. How are we doing? Just quickly taking some pre-market trades off of this news spike because we had some nice tight ranges. So I'm just seeing if I can milk a little bit out of this news movement. I'm hoping the markets are going to break nice and cleanly, but it doesn't look like they are. They're struggling a little bit. I was hoping for a big move at the open, but we're not getting it, unfortunately. So looks like I might stop out on them. How are you all doing? Ladder option. Just don't know who anybody is. Danny, afternoon. Fletch, David. TGIF. Have a blessed weekend. I will. Thank you very much for the $10. Very much appreciated. It's very nice. What am I going to spend my $10 on this weekend? Haven't actually got any plans. Not doing anything this weekend much. Gardening. Can't really spend money on gardening, can I? Well, I suppose I can do, but anyway, thank you very much, David. Very much appreciated. Mumo, afternoon. Road, Pleiades. Ibiza, how are we all doing? So we've had a new spike up, and the CPI number was lower than expected. So we've had quite a big spike in the indices. Just going to stop out on these ones, I think. Gap up on the on the Dow. Obviously, we've got the big move up there on the Nasdaq. Gold has already broken and gone. I was kind of hoping we were just going to do that. We might still do it. There is resistance to going short at the moment, as you can see, but I'm just playing a pre-market move here just to see if we can get that run down to fill the inefficiency, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's going to gap and go today, which is annoying. Never mind. Means a double stop out on that. But we'll see what happens. Candle's not over yet. So your 5-minute ORB is going in. So just looking at that news from MetaTrader because of the clock's changing on Sunday. So that's bearish for the dollar. It means interest rates are definitely going to come down again one more time this year, probably two, but we'll see. So that's going to be potentially bearish movement there. Stopped out and flipped long on the Dow. Go away. So flip long on that Dow. Stopping out and flipping long on, potentially flipping long on the Nasdaq. I'm not trading traditional ORB today, just because of this gap in the market we've got. Seeing if I can get some pre-market movement. So there's your 1 bar ranges in. No good across the board. We're closed too high to the highs. Taking a manual on that though. So that's basically the news today. We've got at 2:45, 15 minutes. We've got the services and manufacturing PMIs coming in. So just bear in mind, quite often when we have news coming in quarter an hour after market open like we have, you tend to find that the market kind of sits around waiting for those PMI numbers. As the CPI numbers are low, the PMI numbers could well also be low, which means obviously more bearishness for the dollar, which means more bullishness for the indices. So those indices might run today. And if they do run, we might get a nice spike on today, but we'll see. Anyway, we'll see where we go. Just about to stop out on that pre-market. So a bit of a whippy open, unfortunately. Not what I was hoping for, but never mind. Say la vie and all that. Here you go. Stopped out and flipped long on the Nasdaq. Just got a single on there. So we'll see if we can bank some on that. So long Dow, long Nasdaq. That's basically off the pre-market. And it is also the 5-minute. So this is your 5-minute opening range. So this is a 5-minute ORB, but I was taking it on the pre-market range. So same thing, basically. Do you think that inflation data was the impulse for gold? Yes, definitely. So don't forget, what you're looking at here is a US dollar cross. XAU cross with US dollar. So if the dollar goes down, inverse crosses to the dollar go up. Yeah. So pound US dollar up, euro US dollar up, US dollar CAD down, US dollar yen down. Yeah. US dollar Swiss down. Gold US dollar up because the dollar's going down. So therefore that goes the opposite direction. Whether or not it sustains it, we'll see. If those PMI numbers come out in a minute, red, we'll get a continuation on the movement. If they come out green, get back the other way. However, the CPI number is much more important than PMI. Yeah, so the purchasing managers index feeds into the consumer price index. So the purchasing managers index is your leading indicator into potential CPI movement. So when the PMIs come out, we normally get an indication of what we're expecting CPI to do in the future. So the problem at the moment is obviously numbers are unreliable because of the shutdown. We've already been told this morning that we are not getting CPI figures next month. Yeah, so there will likely be not be an inflation release next month. So they're not going to give us inflation figures next month. So this CPI number we've got is all we've got to go on for the next couple of months. So this PMI number is actually quite important because it's a precursor and a forecaster for what we would expect the CPI to be next month if we were to get it. So they might actually pay a lot more attention to it this time round than normal, but we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what they say. So where are we going? So yeah, nice long breaks at the minute. DAX this morning, didn't manage to make anything on the DAX this morning. It was that far away from target and then it came back up. So just break even on it this morning. Then it pushed down again, but didn't take any profit on it. Right, so we've got 5 minutes to go to that news. Seven, eight. Careful on that account. Afternoon, Brian. Afternoon, Themba. Okay, so there's your 10-minute ORB. There's a potential long on the 10-minute ORB, and the same for the Dow. No trade on gold at the minute. Just looking at the rest of the markets, the only thing we've got ADR at the moment, bear in mind we've got news coming out shortly, is New Zealand dollar, US dollar. And that's obviously because of the news spike. So obviously everything will be going up against the dollar at the moment. So again, for those of you in the members group, absolute textbook for what we discussed about news trading. New Zealand US and US dollar CAD as well. That one, a lot faster retracement. Wouldn't have been able to get that, but that is an ADR hit to the upside today. But obviously, you know, this is an ADR hit that achieved almost 125 ADR before the news came in. So this reversal alert that you see here on the 5 minute, you wouldn't have been able to take it because the entry would have been there. Obviously, if you were in it beforehand, let's just see if we had a reversal alert beforehand. What a beautiful double top as well on Wednesday's high. Yes, you did have a reversal alert. So ADR is here. You had a reversal alert there as his first entry. You then had a reversal alert there as a second entry. So if you got in on the first alert, you were in there. If you got in on the second alert, you're in there. And obviously that's the reward that you could have had straight into propulsion. If you didn't get out, you're back to where you started. Euro CAD has just hit ADR. ADR on Euro CAD. Canadian dollar will be weakening along with the US dollar. So typically the CAD does the same as the dollar, just in a lot less speed and aggressiveness. Euro yen 4-hour RSI extension at the moment. That's a beautiful double top that we're approaching here. Yeah, so that's your 2 week high. Nice RSI extension, same play as that one. We've also got this gap fill in place still. So this could be a lovely multi-week M pattern reversal. So see what happens when we get here. I'll be looking for price action on lower time frames somewhere around this area, sort of ADR today, if it got there. If it takes out that high, gets up to ADR today. But from any point now, really, you could start to look at building a short position on this. Very nicely extended. Yen obviously is very weak at the minute, so tricky to know what to do with the yen right now. But that's your only 4-hour RSI extension. You got an hourly on Euro CAD as well. Yeah, no, you haven't anymore. You did. God, that's come out. Look at that. Oh, no, that's an hourly. Yeah, no, you have. Sorry. Look at the wrong chart, 4-hour. So, yeah, beautiful resistance coming up here. Again, no reason really to be bearish on the CAD at the moment. So if this PMI number comes out in 2 minutes, negative dollar, that's going to go up further. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. Right, so we are inside bar now. So basically reset. This could 50-50 flip. This is going up or down depending on this news. So this is either going to be, for me, it's either going to be a stop out or a lovely day. Everybody pray to the forex gods. Negative PMIs. What's the forecasts? Forecasts are negative. Hey, what's forecast mean? You never know. Let's see. 1 minute to go. Gold's breaking down. Aussie New Zealand still not pushing down. Been holding the short for some time now. We'll have a look at that. Let's just see where this news goes. Looks mixed. Looks mixed to me. Short on gold. That doesn't look good. It's trying very hard to push higher, but a lot of resistance. There we go. Dow's out the highs. Come on, NASDAQ. So that looks like that may have been negative. Haven't got it through yet. Let's have a quick look at the feed. You ready? Yeah, 55.2. That's not good. Positive. So we got 52 on manufacturing, which is just above forecast. We got 55, which is well up on forecast on services. So that is bullish dollar. What to do with that? Well, we're still going long on the Dow. So let's have a quick look at where we're potentially going today. Right, so Dow's out at the highs. So this is the weekly high going now. So that is your high from Tuesday, which is high of the week. For the Dow, that is all-time high. So we're all-time highs. So there's going to be a lot. This is why it's not able to get out of this highest. There's obviously a lot of resistance as iceberg order sitting at the weekly high. So if we can break that, we'll be gone. But we've got to break it. And it's struggling. Nasdaq's rejecting as well. Damn it. Really could have done with that being the other way, that news, but never mind. We'd have shot straight out of those highs if that was negative. Liquidated. That's my max loss for the day gone. Aussie New Zealand we're going to look at, won't we? We'll see where those go, but that looks like a fail to me. Aussie New Zealand. Yeah, but he's pulling back at the minute. Lower lows, lower highs. Slightly higher low going in at the moment, so we're contracting. So one way or the other. There's more downside targets than upside, obviously. So let's have a quick look on Forex Factory and see what we got coming up next week. Bank holiday in New Zealand. Aussie Bullock speaking. Okay, so we've got CPI for the Australian next week. So that's going to be your main mover next week, Wednesday. Forecast is 0.7, so weak Australian dollar forecast, but whether we get it or not, we'll have to wait and see. But that is obviously forecast to drop. So if we do get the 0.7 or we get lower than the 0.7, that Aussie is going to come down hard. So you'll be basically, I wouldn't be surprised if you're not down here, potentially even lower next week, Wednesday. You could be down here. Obviously, the inverse, if that CPI number comes out at plus 1.1 or higher, we're off to the moon. Well, actually, we're not necessarily off to the moon because the Aussies have sort of indicated that they're going to freeze interest rates at the moment anyway. So if that interest rate is actually, inflation figure is higher, it won't necessarily impact the fact that we're not going to increase interest rates, are not going to reduce interest rates. If it comes out lower than forecast or at forecast, that is likely to potentially drop that. Yeah, so getting liquidated everywhere at the moment. One of those weeks this week. So yeah, potentially big move down next week. I'm running an aggressive plan at the moment on some of my accounts because I've been running these evaluations now for 7 days, nearly 8 days, and are just getting chopped to death. So I've gone up a level of aggression just to try and either get them over the line or scrap them and start again. Because if they're not passed now, they're not going to. So I just need to start again with proper risk. So it's one of those do or dies with them. At the minute, they're cheap. 70 quid a go. So somebody posted today about Apex Trader Funding. So if you're in the Discord group, go and have a look at the trading talk. Apex have got their usual deal on at the moment, which is 80% off. Sounds amazing until you look at the rules and what you've actually got to achieve to get paid at Apex. It's incredibly difficult to get money out of Apex because of the amount of not hard breach rules they've got, but the amount of soft rules they have that basically they can look at your trading account at any time and go, don't like the way he trades, we're not going to pay him. Yeah, they've got loads of these rules which are to do with the number of contracts that you take and the time that you hold, how much drawdown you have from high to low. If it's over 30%, they will look at your account and scrutinize it. If you've got too many contracts on, i.e. you normally trade 1, 2 or 3 contracts a day and suddenly you trade 5, 6 or 7 contracts a day and suddenly make a load of money, they'll look into it. Yeah. Any reason not to pay you, that company. Do you know why? Because they put 80% off their evaluations, which means they haven't got any capital in their fund to pay people with. So they have to make up rules to stop you being paid. You do get people being paid. I've seen people being paid. I've been paid. But it's bloody hard work. All the other companies, hard breach rules and that's it. You don't break these rules, we pay you. Apex will give you the evaluations at $33. It's 25 quid UK. £25. Yeah, it costs me £30 to £40 when I go out for a meal. Yeah, so it's less than going out for a meal for an evaluation for $25,000. You think they're going to make it easy to get paid? Just beware. Sounds good. You know that saying, if it sounds too good to be true? There you go. Get what you pay for. Mind you, saying that, I've just put an advert out today for my course at £49. I've already had someone get in touch saying, yeah, you get what you pay for. Can't win, can you? Anyway, NASDAQ long is still in play. NASDAQ long is still in play. And the Dow long is still in play as well. But we're not really getting any traction today. Gold short is stuck. We've got it's not an inside bar, but it's close to inside bar. So market's sort of stalling out. We're all-time highs are here on the Dow. If this pops and we do manage to break that high there, we're going to go today. But as you can see, the market is hitting quite a bit of upside resistance at the minute, making it a little bit tricky. How come the result takes so long for your economic calendar? Because it's not live. This is not a live calendar. This is, so it updates every five minutes or so, I think. Yeah, it updates every 5 minutes. If you want to, I can put my price up to $150 a month or £150 a month and get a live feed for you, but I have to pay for a live feed. Therefore, you don't get a live feed. That's why I do it for free. You get what you pay for. This doesn't cost you anything, therefore, it's not live. This doesn't cost you anything, and it is live, but they make money in other ways. But yeah, so just use Forex Factor if you want live. But I mean, the reasoning behind me not going live is I don't care about the result. Yeah. By the time you get this number here, wherever, no, it's obviously not live, this one, by the time you've got this number, or you've seen it come in on this feed, the market's already done it. Yeah. So does it matter if you get it after 10 seconds or 10 minutes? No, we don't react to news until 10 to 15 minutes after it's happened. So I don't care. You don't need it, do you? It doesn't make any difference. You know, if suddenly this flashes up bullish, you'll go, oh, I need to, missed it. You can't react as fast as the banks. You never will be able to. The banks know the result before it comes out most of the time anyway. So lovely inside bar formation forming on the Dow. This is just an utter mess. That's my Japanese symbol for mess. That's how you write mess in Japanese. I think there's a good chance this is going to go up or down today. I reckon I'll be right on that as well. We either cook or get cooked. Exactly. Yes, so become a cook. It's a lot less stressful. I've seen some kitchens which are very stressful. Put a cook in a trading room, wouldn't last 5 seconds. Actually, chef, not cook. A cook probably would last, but a chef, no. It's tentatively looking like it might go. No. Still reckon I'm right on that. What became of the M1 ORB? I haven't done anything with it. The guy, I've not heard from the guy that I built it for. It's the same with all these things, isn't it? You know, all the M1 ORB is a variation of the ORB. Yeah, so you can trade an M1, an M5, an M15 ORB. You could trade an M10. You could trade a pre-market 5, 10, or 15 if you want to. What is it? Momentum breakout strategy. Does it matter what time frame you put it on? No. Same thing. But I shared with the members an EA that I built, which is a similar principle to do with turtle trading. Basically, what that EA on M1 was a cross between what I do on the 1 minute chart, trading chop, but scaling in using turtle trading strategy. So I built a new EA called the Turtle Trader Strategy or something. I can't remember what I called it. I can't even find it. Turtle Trader, there you go. Which basically does something similar, and you can trade that on any time frame. Okay, this next 5 minute candle is going to be quite critical on the Dow. So we're going to close inside bar, or are we? Maybe we're not. It's having a crack at it. This is the hourly candle close. Okay, so you're going to get some volume coming in now because it's a new hourly candle open. So we're going to get a decent kickoff of this next 5 minute candle. It's hitting that iceberg as well. Again, look. Struggling to get through there. See if we can kick through on the hourly candle when it opens. We'll get a lot of volume coming through on this. Should get a little bit of a pop or a very fast rejection. There we go. Look at that spread. Eating up a load of orders there. Tons of orders there. There's a big order sitting at the highs. Not getting through, is it, today? Probably works great, and he went into the sunset minting millions. I don't think so. You never know. From my back testing, you know, this is the thing. I do back testing a lot, as you know. I spend 90% of my time back testing. And I couldn't produce anything better. Yeah, if I've tested, I don't know how many strategies over the years, hundreds, thousands, many thousands probably. But there's certain risk parameters that mean that you cannot make more than X without taking a hit on Y, which is drawdown. So there is a limit to what you are able to make out of markets because of the finite market movement that we have. Banks and institutions move the market a percentage of movement per day on average. Doesn't matter what risk parameters you put in place. You can either take a single entry with a stop loss and a take profit, a fixed risk reward. You can take a single entry and scale into that entry as it moves with you to compound the profit and adjust risk. Or you can enter and then scale in dollar cost average in to adjust your price to take advantage of movement after that. Those are the three ways you can trade. There is nothing else out there. It doesn't matter what strategy you give me, it will conform to one of those three rules. Yeah. So whether you trade a 1 minute ORB or 5 minute ORB, a mean reversion with RSI, whether you trade a moving average crossover, a CCI, a stochastic, a MACD, whatever you're trading, you are going to apply a risk mechanism to it, which is either fixed, scales in, or compounds. There is nothing else you can do apart from hedging, but no one makes money hedging. So scrap that one. But that's it, isn't it? So if you now, as I have done here, take a trade and scale in, add to your winning trade, yeah, I need to adjust my risk accordingly so that I don't over leverage, i.e. take twice as much risk. But when I make a profit on this trade, if it was to break long today, I'd make twice as much money. Yeah. Or I could just take one trade with a fixed TP and a fixed stop loss and make less money, but also lose less money. Yeah. So it doesn't matter what time frame you do it on, what indicator you use, the market will move up and down. Your job is applying a risk mechanism to it. Your choice of risk mechanism and the time frame you employ that risk mechanism does not change the fact that it can only return an infinite amount, a finite amount of money for a finite amount of risk. This is why you will never find a trading strategy out there with a return on drawdown more than about 2 that works consistently. You can find strategies out there with return on drawdowns of 4, 6, and 8, but they will not be consistent. The ORB, I've got a return on drawdown of 4.6 on the settings that I trade, but I have big drawdowns on it. Yeah, we have months or weeks, rather, where it goes into drawdown. If I reduce my return, I can reduce my drawdown. So if I go for a return on drawdown of 2, I will take less drawdown and make less money, but I'll have a smoother equity curve. It doesn't matter what you do, why you get in, whether it's breakout, mean reversion, or trend. You cannot make more money than the market is able to supply you. If you increase your risk, you will increase your drawdown. If you reduce your risk, you will reduce your profit. Yeah. I've tested thousands of strategies. They all come out with, the ones that work consistently all come out with a decent 2 to 2.5, maybe 1.5 return on drawdown or profit factor. You can't get any more than that. If someone can get me more than that, I'm all ears, but I haven't found it in 20 years, and I haven't found a mathematician that can create it either. Why do you think banks and institutions don't make quadrillions? If let's say, for example, I give you now £1 million, that is definitely resistance on the Dow. If I give you £1 million, what you'll be able to do is give me a return of X percent. If I give you 10 grand, you will still be able to give me a return of X percent. What will happen different is the million will make more money because it's spending more money. Yeah, it's risking more money. The return on drawdown on 10 grand, a million, and 500 quid is exactly the same on most strategies. Yeah. Go and look at any strategy out there, and if you put any strategy in a strategy tester that works, you will find you will not get a return on drawdown consistently above 2. That ORB M1 had a very similar return on drawdown to ORB that I trade. So what's the point in trading that? It's the same strategy. It's a breakout strategy with a return on drawdown of 2, roughly. I'm trading a higher risk version because I don't mind risk. But I will obviously take a lot more drawdown at times as well. So all the same stuff. Aussie CAD looks nice for a short. Very stuck at the moment. If we can push up a little bit today, that propulsion gap is obviously holding in very, very well. And so is this propulsion gap. But at some point, one of them is going to break. So you're either heading there or here. But yeah, nice looking short opportunity. Potentially. I don't think you get there today. It's Friday. We just had positive news for the dollar as well, so it's struggling a little bit to drop further, isn't it? As we can see, this is consolidating now at all-time highs. It is a bullish pennant, so and Nasdaq's just put new high of the day in, so we might get going. What a mess. Dash a minute. Oh, I want to see the indices. Yeah, got an inside bar on the S&P at the moment. I was just seeing if there was one on the Nasdaq or the Dow, but there isn't. The market's really looking like it wants to pop today, but it's really struggling, and I think it's the Dow holding it back today. We're up here, we can't get through, can we? Never mind. Wait 20 pips till your first shot. Short. Yeah. So this propulsion gap to the upside looks really good. Like I said, I'm not sure you're going to get there today. We've got a lovely propulsion move, which was caused by the CPI. But we've just had, obviously, PMIs come out up after a CPI down, which kind of cancels itself out. So we might get some strength in that dollar, and hence, obviously, the indices are struggling a little bit as well. Just a shame we didn't get that negative news, but we'll see. It's definitely looking like it's struggling up here. But we are making highs. It's not very convincingly, are we? Market's got 1 minute until inside bar forms. The Dow is an inside bar again. Kind of a double top, actually. Or is it? There we go. We're out. Not the pop I was expecting at all, but we are out. Nasdaq trying very, very hard to close outside the 10-minute range. There we go, just about. Wouldn't exactly call that convincing, but this could sell off at any time. It's almost like you feel like you're like climbing up a wall, yeah, with like those gloves, which are not more like a window. Those gloves that stick to a window, except they sort of slip in a little bit. You know it's inevitable. Stalling plane. That's what it feels like today. Mind you, I'm not going to complain. Gold about to stop out on. And potentially flip long. So negative dollar news, potentially push higher for gold today. Obviously, the CPI number drove it. The PMI number should be doing that, but it's not. So market's just a little bit confused today. Very unfortunate didn't get the 6-bar break today. So the 6-bar break was too short, too small this morning. But it was a beautiful 4R to the downside, but couldn't get on it. A little bit too tight. That's the luckiest non-stop out of the week. Look at that. I can't zoom in anymore, but that's my stop loss, and that's the high of that candle. Talk about skin of the teeth. To be honest, I'd rather that stopped out because that will help the indices pop. If that carries on breaking, we may well get a decent pop today, but not looking amazing, is it? Anybody got any other FX pairs you want to look at? Members stream is in 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Stopped out on gold, and I just flipped long. Look at that. So stopped out on the short, flip long gold. That's exactly 15% of ADR today. Literally, it's 15.5% of ADR. So that is the tightest possible range we can trade, or I trade on the Nasdaq. Euro Swiss. Double bottom bounce, isn't it? Triple bottom bounce. So yeah, we looked at this one, didn't we, the other day? So this is your low of the decade. So that's the Swiss franc peg removal back in 2014. So the lowest point we've been since the peg removal was last December. So this is kind of realistically your all-time low ever. So apart from the peg removal, which obviously doesn't count. So yeah, looks a lovely long from where we are, but it's struggling a little bit, isn't it? Yeah, like it as a long. How far are you going to get though? I don't know. I mean, since March, we've been trading highs here. We're putting in lower highs constantly. We've just broken out into that low, and I think the market is literally just, realistically, they're not selling it. But are they really buying it here? They're not really buying it, are they, either? So it's a pretty precarious spot. You want to be going long anyway from a swap perspective, not short. So yeah, everything going for it. RSI extension, you would have got into a 4 hour. If you're trading 4 hourly, you'd be in from here. What's ADR? 36. So ADR. So you'd be in kind of 3/4 trades now, with an average somewhere in this propulsion gap, probably around that monthly. So if this is going to be a short leg, you could easily retrace up into there. But as this is an all-time low, there's quite a strong probability of a very decent bounce out of this. Yeah. So you could easily form, this is just a new range low forming on this range at the minute, potentially. So you could easily get back up into here, couldn't you? Loads of room on that. But watch the propulsion gaps on the way down. There aren't any really. There's one there. That's not really breaking that low. So that's the only propulsion gap, which we've sold twice. If we break through that propulsion gap, there's nothing really to stop you, is there, to the upside? Loads of room. Loads of room. Looks like a nice long, that. Kind of missed it though. Looks good though. Like it. You're long in there, yeah. I think you've got a good chance of that. Gold's broken nicely to the upside. Dow's stalling and flagging a little bit. So's the Nas. 3-bar reversal going in on the Nasdaq. Out at highs, aren't we? I mean, I know it's a Friday, but this might be one of those grindy pre-shapes where we just grind away and then suddenly we'll just find somewhere to sit for the rest of the day. So we might be all right on these today. Certainly holding at the moment, the Dow, which is a good sign. Gold's obviously out now into new highs. And I'm 11 contracts long on futures. Fingers crossed. So this afternoon in the member stream, we covered this morning on the prop side of things, we covered the strategies for futures. So that was a long session, 100 minutes. That's the longest one we've done so far. But obviously there's a lot to cover because it's strategy based. So we covered all of the strategies this morning for futures. and obviously the methodology for it. On Monday, we're going to be doing the CFDs on Monday, 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Why is that 8? Clocks are changing. So that's 9 o'clock on Monday. Why does that say 8 o'clock? Automatically adjusting time, isn't it? That's not right. It's going to be 9 o'clock on Monday, so I'll have to change that. I hope this is not going to screw up all my timings. Anyway, so we're going to be doing that on Monday, but this afternoon we are in 10 minutes. We're going to be doing the Q&A session, and we've got a few questions today for ORB and stuff, so we'll be going through that today. But I'm going to hold these longs at the moment and just see if we can get something on them. The trouble is at the moment, these are all our all-time highs, so it's very hard to forecast where to get out of these because you've got no upside resistance to look at. So 2167 is 2R, which is only there. So a good sort of 10 or 15 minute push. I think I'll probably start taking these off. Same with gold. You know, everything that we're trading right here is out in new territory mostly. Gold's not, obviously, is it? Actually, gold isn't. But the indices, we're out at new highs. NASDAQ new highs. S&P will be out at new highs as well with the NASDAQ. It's the same thing. DAX, we're not. But yeah, so both of these indices today, there's nothing to look at on the left. So you've just got to basically gauge where you want to get out. You've got to take it off at some point. But obviously gold, this is kind of going counter to that last PMI news that we had, which is a bit worrying. So watch the upside resistance on gold, which is yesterday's high, previous day's high. Yeah. So this whole move here is one big propulsion gap from Wednesday. It all started with a propulsion move, little accumulation in the second propulsion. So they're reselling that second propulsion gap. We've got a higher low going in. So in theory, it may well want to come and pull back into a range up here, but could go either way today, gold. I know which way I want it to go. Oh, it's all pulling back now. We'll see. Hopefully these are flags. If not. Right. So that's me done for the day. 20 past. Members will be in 10 minutes into the Q&A, which I assume is the right time. Yeah. So that's 7 a.m. So these times are all wrong. I've got to get these changed. So I don't want these adjusting. That's right. These have all gone forward an hour. Annoying. Right, so I'll be back on Monday morning. No, I won't. Yes, I will. Monday morning, 8 o'clock for the normal YouTube stream, which is not 7. It'll be 8. And then member streamers at 9 o'clock on next week. Same stuff as usual. So Monday morning, and then we're back Wednesday, New York session, and Friday, New York session. And then I think the Americans changed their clocks. No, we get 2 weeks, don't we? And then you change clocks. Yeah. So beginning of November. So then we all go back again. So we have this 2 week of annoyance where we have to do everything different. And then why can we not stop doing this? We're not grown up enough as a civilization to realize we don't need to change the clocks twice a year. Storm Melissa coming my way. Oh, good. Melissa, we've just had a B. Bernard, Bertie, don't know. We just had a Storm B. First one of the year. Second one of the year, obviously, because it's a B. But yeah, Melissa, she sounds nice. Right, I'll leave you there. Anything you need, let me know. I'll be back on Monday. Other than that, I'll be in Discord or Telegram. Have a good weekend, and I will see you next week. If you're members, I'll see you in 10 minutes.